varieties of information that you can consume with a single prompt where the Copilot will talk to all these applications and give you a single tool. If you look at it from the teams, that's a massive game changer. Today, the teams gives the autonomy for people to interact with the AI. How we use the organizational data to create agents. The index says, the research says that people who has AI acumen has more tendency to get the job. And the managers are looking for people who has AI competencies. The customers are empowered to use the right AI technologies to defend AI attacks. Copilot gives you the ability to create content using your inputs. Similarly, if you take Copilot, it creates lots of opportunity, jobs for people to take new competencies and be good at it. For Microsoft, we want to be the Copilot for Sri Lanka.
Welcome back to a very special episode by TechTalk360, and we are here at Microsoft Sri Lanka, and I'm with Harsha Randeny, the country manager for Microsoft Sri Lanka and Maldives. Hi Harsha, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you, Russell, for inviting me for this podcast.
So Harsha, what is your role at Microsoft Sri Lanka?
So my role is pretty much focused on how we advocate technology for Sri Lanka and Maldives through our valued partner ecosystems for our customers cut across enterprise, mid-market and small and medium businesses.
Today, we are proud to say that we are taking AI as a main initiative where we want to empower a lot of enterprises to leapfrog from the technological landscape to get more competitive edge on the services that they offer both locally and internationally. As you are aware, that technology play a pivotal role of how you compete in the market. Being the first adapter, play a pivotal role of how best to use this technology to gain competitive insights. Today in Microsoft, we have empowered that shift for both Sri Lanka and Maldives, both government and private sector, to use AI as a first-hand experience. So the user organizations are able to understand what value it brings. And we also make sure we scale through partners. And we make sure the partners remain our focus where we train these individuals and organizations so that can be scaled throughout Sri Lanka anymore. Be it on small and medium businesses, the way the technology can be adapted for them is very different. The way the large enterprise can, use some of these cases. So our partner ecosystem is well oiled in terms of taking these messages to different spectrum. So then those organizations are able to consume these technologies in a meaningful way. So in Microsoft Sri Lanka, we focus on that. And my main task is to make sure that we bring the latest tech and affordability to Sri Lanka.
Amazing. To kick things off, Harsha, what is Microsoft Copilot and how does it work?
Thank you. So Microsoft 365 Copilot is the personal productivity companion where we bring the power of AI to all the tooling that Microsoft is providing, where you can engage with all the tools in a equivalent experience, where you can be the best at your work with the power of AI technology. In fact, we call the Microsoft 365 Copilot is a new UI for AI. That being said, we have learned how Microsoft 365 Copilot been adopted by the people. We just released the Copilot Wave 2 to the world, where we have enhanced lots of function and the features based on the data that we have seen, how people been used, and the feedback that we have get from nearly 1,000+ customers that we very closely work with to optimize, to enhance, and also to be more futuristic, more from a function and the features that we have embedded through Microsoft 365 Copilot. So Microsoft 365 Copilot works with Teams, Outlook, PowerPoint, and OneDrive, where it gives the seamless experience of how you deal with data, documents, emails, or file stores, where you are able to gain lots of insight, be quick for the response, to curate information with a summarized way using Microsoft Document Intelligence. So there are varieties of information that you can consume with a single prompt, where the Copilot will talk to all these applications and give you a single tool. So that's what Microsoft 365 Copilot is all about.
So Harsh, if I just ask you, how can businesses leverage on Copilot, and how can they use it to in operational perspective and to drive growth?
All right, so it's a very important question. So there are multiple ways. So let's break it down to multiple areas, right? So first, let's start with personal productivity. So from a Microsoft standpoint, we have various options of how you gain personal productivity using Microsoft 365 Copilot. As a first-party trained data set with Microsoft 365 Copilot, you can just infuse to your tooling as a direct subscription to your current Microsoft 365 subscription. By doing so, you are able to summarize your long emails that you get in corporate. You are able to create drafts where you're spending lots of rationalization of what been written on long thread emails, where you get prompt and you are able to save lots of time of drafting responses. And again, the Copilot is not autopilot. What that means is it's not to change you. You have to get involved, look at what the context, and you have to do certain soft touch so then you can be productive while focusing on the subject. That's one thing. Second thing is how you can summarize long documents so then you can read things in a faster way, so you can get these context of what this document meant to be. So we have the capabilities with again with the Copilots to do document summaries and get what this document intend to. And you can compare documents with the one version to other. What are the changes being happened? So if you look at it from the productivity standpoint, be it in Outlook, be it in the Word, be it on the PDF, and if you look at it from the Teams, that's a massive game changer, where the way the people participate on traditional meetings has fundamentally changed, because today the Teams gives the autonomy for people to interact with the AI, where they are able to narrate what the section that need to require to be involved by me. Was there any question being raised to me during this meeting? Was there any discrepancy or certain challenges that require to be addressed as a part of this? How attentive people were. So these lot of insights are able to bring with the power of AI, where the personal productivity is a key factor that we have seen how we can enhance for the people. The second area is how we use the organizational data to create agents. So these are new concepts, where when you have lots of manuals, lots of Teams documents reside in a SharePoint or a OneDrive location, how you create knowledge using 10 and 15 years old of data. So then there is a knowledge creation that we can do using the agents, where the organization become more knowledge centric by harnessing the previous set of knowledges which is available in documents. It's just that people have not gone through that. Today you can ask a question, how should I look at a manual and change a part of a maintenance schedule. So today the AI is able to provide that input by harnessing lots of documents and curating and reasoning and providing this as input. So second area that we see is Microsoft 365 Copilot gives the ability to create knowledge and harness the knowledge for the workforce, and particularly given the knowledge become a key factor for any industry, for any organization. Using such technology give the leapfrog capabilities for people to bring up to an average knowledge worker category, where there can be gaps on any organization, but this gives that ability for you to learn faster and also contribute to others by creating such documents. Even if you are a more senior guy, how you solve some of those things. So the rest of the people will be able to gain that knowledge using the AI agents. So that's the second scenario. Thirdly, we have also infused Copilot into many other streams. Like we take example, cybersecurity. I think one of the area that you are very familiar. If we take this as example, today the AI become a good and a bad from the cybersecurity standpoint. So if you take a different example, that we can't look at tools in a discounted manner when you compare that with AI, because long back days that the tools that being used for the cybersecurity is pretty manual and primitive, whereas the AI, given the X factor of the power, the magnitude of the attacks and the possibilities of how you get compromised are very bigger. So we have infused Microsoft 365 Copilot, Security Copilot, where we are able to empower the customers with the equivalent tooling. So then the customers are empowered to use the right AI technologies to defend AI attacks, right? So these are the three main areas I would say that how an organization can we get benefit using from.
That's a really large scope.
Yes.
So if I just ask you, so beyond the workplace, what are some practical uses of a Copilot in your perspective, some of your best?
Sure. I recommend you to download the Copilot app using your Android or Apple fan. You can just download that. Where you are able to now use Copilot as your, again, a personal productivity companion, where you can ask your questions about what's the best route from A to B and what are the 5 best places that you should explore in a particular place in Sri Lanka. Or if you want to, look at entertainment, what are the top trending musics in the country. So today the Copilot gives that luxury for people to download this application and use it in various use cases that I mentioned. And also, if you are more focused on singular language, today we have that capability on the Copilot app that you can use single as a language. So then there is no barrier for you to access this technology.
So in terms of productivity, I think that's one of the really important aspects. So how can we use Copilot to improve productivity throughout?
Like I explained earlier, so the productivity cut across in multiple places, right? So if you start with the mundane task that you respond to emails, you look at inbox, you start a day with Outlook typically. So that gives you nearly 20% savings when you're looking from using AI to respond faster without going through all the content. You can summarize it, you can draft emails, so you can do things in a faster manner. So that's one area that I believe that the productivity can be enhanced. The second area is document. You have to go through lots of document, PDF, comparison, draft, legal draft, and a lot of things. Today, the Copilot is able to summarize these long documents, and you're able to understand what it intends to be. And then you can also curate that information and create your own draft if you will. So then Copilot gives you the ability to create content using your inputs. That's why I mentioned earlier the prompting is important. Thirdly, you can also use pretty much content creation for presentation as an example, that you can create very professional look content with the right inputs that what you want to create, and it gives you the notes, it gives you the right graphic, right font, transition slide. So it gives lots of input in that manner. So that saves a lot of time as well.
So if I just talk about the common misconceptions of AI,
Yeah.
what can you say about that?
I think the main area that we have seen is people consider this as a threat for human, right? I mean, this is across the world. This being asked in many forums. From a Microsoft lens, right? Our main objective here to empower humans to be a better version of the productivity. So if you look at it, the name itself, it's not the pilot, it's a co-pilot, right? So how you bring the intelligence for human to take action in a far more accurate, productive manner is what the objective is. But if you look at it like any other technology in world history, I think it has disrupts a certain set of spectrum by leveraging technology. I think the humanity, if you take for the last 50 years, even 100 years, the technology has revolutionized the way that the humans are operating, right? If you take a typewriter to a computer, that's a fundamental technology shift where, yes, it disrupts certain set of skill sets. But if you look at the opportunity create to the world, it's humongous. And similarly, if you take Copilot, it creates lots of opportunity, jobs for people to take new competencies and be good at it. In fact, when you look at it from the hiring standpoint, the index says, the research says that people who has AI acumen has more tendency to get the job, and the managers are looking for people who has AI competencies. So it's a great example because today it's not that it's eliminating jobs, it's creating jobs who has the skill sets on AI. So that's the first thing that I would say the people has some misconception. When you look at the other one, will that create lots of AI undertake human tasks, right? Can things be fully AI driven or without any human involvement, right? So this is the second thing that I've seen. Again, I think for the next 50 years, though, it's pretty hard to predict. But where the world is moving is to empower the knowledge, the empower the insight for people to take smarter decisions, not to replace humans. And I think world is very, very focused on this because end of the day, as humans, we require to be remain human-centric, not AI-centric, because that power required to be in the hands of human. So from that grounds, I think from a Microsoft lens, we are very clear that our mission is to enhance the efficiencies, give better time for humans to do more productive work, but never to replace the humans or jobs in the market.
I think the next question I can link it to that. So how does Microsoft ensure the responsible use of AI?
Oh, that's a great question. So Microsoft runs on certain principles. Particularly for AI, we have a ethical rule book of how Microsoft run AI as a hyperscaler, as a world largest AI company. When you look at it from data, so we make sure the data remain grounded the data remain balanced, because end of the day, the AI is the outcome generated by the data. So the data play a pivotal role. So in Microsoft, we have multiple teams who focus on which data we use, how we use this data, as the data being used in a balanced and fair way for every part of the world, every ethnic group, every religious group. Because end of the day, AI is for everybody, not for certain set of people, right? So how you use that data play a pivotal role. So we have lots of focus on these things in Microsoft ethical practices, that how we use the data. Second thing is training the data, right? So when you use the previous data or historical data and you train the data, the training process itself is being audited, maintained with a set of highly compliant manner. In fact, Microsoft is sharing those best practices to the world, where how the ethical practices should be considered when it comes to the policies, government policies, where we have learned and baked and embedded those principles to our processes. So we know the outcome they are giving for the world is safer.
So if I just ask you, Harsha, there's many people using, the young crowd using AI. So how can they use AI? They can utilize it perfectly for their careers and personal developments. What do you say? What do you think about that and your personal aspect on that?
Yeah, since you asked my personal aspect, I think the how you gain knowledge, if you take as any kind of knowledge training. So textbooks, if you take as an example, you read a theory and you contextualize and you rationalize to your own way and you apply back, right? So you learn something, you curate and you apply back. So that has a process, and that has certain time it required for you to get things done on a traditional manner. But the AI today has given unlimited access for digital way of consuming knowledge, where the time for you to spend on a traditional way versus using a digital platform and AI gives you very different scale and you to get things in a faster way. So if you look at it from education purposes, a simple example like coach me on a mathematical problem, and it gives you lots of options of how you can solve that puzzle by not locking into one theoretical philosophy that you have to follow those steps.
Yeah.
But that itself a massive opportunity for young crowd to learn things in a new way and a faster way, because today you have unlocked that knowledge to your fingertip that you can search, whereas in a traditional way you are limited to a particular content and you have to curate, learn and apply that to your knowledge, right? So that's the one thing that I would say, that's an opportunity for the world to learn things in a digital first way and learn it faster.
Thank you so much, Harsha, for tuning into the episode today. And it's an amazing pleasure to be invited to the Microsoft Sri Lanka. Just you can share some final words on the podcast and on the episode today.
Firstly, thank you, Russell, for inviting me for this podcast. I think this is an important exercise that we all need to contribute in order to
Provide the technology, how it applies to everyone.
across every spectrum that we discuss on technology, be it student, be it enterprise, be it small, medium. So these sectors can get benefit by knowing technology. So you are doing a great job by democratizing that to everyone in the country. For Microsoft, we want to be the Copilot for Sri Lanka, using the technology and AI as the lead and transformative way, where we remain focused on achieving that mission.
from Microsoft Sri Lanka standpoint. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Harsha.
Thanks.